Good morning, everyone. Steve Murray here with Insurance Agency Marketing Services. Thank you all for joining us here on this kind of unusual week in the U.S. and in the world. Appreciate you taking some time out of your schedules to join us. And we're going to talk about some things today that may be germane to what's going on in the world with the virus and how we can help you continue to do business through that, as well as giving you some good information on Social Security in general. So it's going to be a great webinar today. We're going to keep moving right along as fast as we can to get all the information in a reasonable amount of time with our presenter, Dave Pimper. Dave Pimper, of course, is the coach. He's the president of Lazarus Coaching. He's got quite a few Social Security seminars under his belt in total. He's probably up to about 520 or so total seminars. I would say probably 80 to 90 of those are Social Security-based seminars. So he's got a lot of experience, and that experience is not only with the seminar itself, but with all the before and all the after and transitioning and the appointments and how to convert appointments to sales and how to help clients that just looking for Social Security assistance. So it's really been a good relationship that we have with Dave. It has helped a lot of our producers do business and help a lot of their clients through the dilemmas of Social Security claiming. So my name is Steve Murray, one of the principals here at Insurance Agency Marketing Services, and I'm going to run through some basic stuff for us all here this morning, tell you a little bit about IAMS before we get started, but I want to try and get to the heart of the matter just as quickly as we can. So a couple of things I'll mention right out of the gate is there'll be some opportunities to do polls. If you'd hit yes or no on those fairly quickly, I'd appreciate it. It keeps us moving right along. There's no commitment there. We're just asking you for a level of interest. And then also, if you have any questions, I want you to type them in. On Social Security, we tend to get some questions on Social Security benefits and how they work specifically for a specific case. Those are hard to get done in a group setting like this, so we ask that you have those. Dave is glad to answer them on a one-on-one basis. So, but if you have questions about a little bit more global stuff like seminars in general, how those work and things like that, then certainly type them in and we'll get them asked and answered as quickly as we can. So a couple things that I want you to be aware of. I know we've got a lot of folks on today that have not done business with IAMS in the past. We've got a couple programs that you'll definitely want to be aware of as you start doing business with us. We have a really simple program called the Referred Producer Program. Way that it works is if you refer a colleague, that colleague gets licensed, we'll send you a check for 50. When they start doing business with us, then what'll happen is we will send you a bonus based on the business that they do. And you can see the example there before you. We get you about 20 basis points on annuity business. It's higher than that on everything else, but most of the folks, most of those checks go out on a quarterly basis. Some we send out on a monthly basis. Generally speaking, any check more than about 1,500 that would accrue on a monthly basis, we send those out in that month. Otherwise, we'll send out the checks on a quarterly basis, anywhere from, I send out checks for as little as I was just $50 all the way up to $3,000, $4,000. So great program. Thank you for your referrals, and certainly we love the opportunity to reward you for them. Marketing reimbursement, another simple program. When you do business, money goes in your marketing reimbursement account. As you do business, that account fills up, and then when you spend money in anything to do with the marketing of your business, and we match your spend dollar for dollar on that. So really simple program. If you have any questions on your marketing reimbursement account, just ask your sales director. They'll be glad to keep you updated. New producer builders. So those of you that are just getting with us or just been with us a short period of time, you're eligible for this for your first 180 days, first 6 months of being appointed with IAMS. You can see you can choose various levels, the different things you want. A lot of them are, as you can see before you, kind of based on something to help you gain more business. Some of them are just straight incentives, rewards, and of course we have some cash incentives as well that you can take advantage of. Bottom line is, if you're just getting rolling with us, take advantage, and this is a little bit of a lost leader on our part to help grow your business right away, and it gets you out of the gate quick from our standpoint. But from your standpoint, it gives you some opportunities to do some more business, or if you want, take a nice little Ritz-Carlton vacation somewhere with your guests. Probably not now, but in the near future, hopefully when things clear up here around the country. I want to make sure that everybody's aware of this. Our back office support is second to none. So we'd like to keep you out doing what you do best. And we do one of the things that we do best, which is to make sure we're giving you the support. So if you call our office, you're going to get less than a couple rings. You're going to get somebody picking up the phone and answering whatever question that you have. And we're going to track your business and help you through the everything from the submission to commission process to make sure that you get paid on a timely basis. And we do follow right through the commission. So our last call to the carrier is, hey, see, it's all issued. When can that agent expect his commission? And then we give you a call and let you know, or shoot you a note and let you know when you can expect that in your account. So it's really a A to Z program. If you've worked with your sales directors in the past, you know they're really good at helping you through the sales development process as well, help you with products, help you pick just the right product to fit your client's needs, and give you some great ammo and great information that you can go and talk to your client about. So we feel like we support your sales at a 360-degree basis, and we want you to know that we value that business. One of the things that we've done is we put Firelight in place. So this becomes more important now as clients might be less apt to want to do a face-to-face meeting. So Firelight, you go on, just call your sales director and say, hey, I need to register, or go on our website if you want to, and you can just register to do Firelight. And that's basically the EAP system. The nice thing about doing it through IAMS is that it's a single sign-on. So all the companies that you do business with IAMS, you can just sign into one site and get access to all of them. You just have to choose the company and then choose the product, and off you go. And then it stores that information in there for you. So if you're doing multiple apps on the same client, if you maybe start an app or have done an app in the past and now you want to do another app on them, that information is already in the system for you. So it wouldn't matter which company it's in there with. So it's kind of a nice system, particularly germane to what we're going through here at this time right now, when we've got a lot of people that maybe don't want to meet face to face. You do an e-app and complete the whole signing ceremony just over the phone or with a conversation and via email. These are the companies that are on there. They're being added every day. Companies seem obviously more and more interested right now to get on an EAP system, and Firelight by far is the most accepted one. So you'll see that company list expand geometrically here over the coming weeks. Want to make sure too you're taking advantage of our advertising department, Creative Solutions. We've got a 4 or 5 person team, 5 now person team of folks, and think of them as your marketing and advertising firm. And of course, it's a marketing and advertising firm that will do a lot of work for you, kind of what I call on a pro bono or least possible expense basis, help you get everything that you need, design logos, business cards, everything that you need to get your image right, help you with Facebook, help you with the website, and all of it is designed by folks that work with folks just like you every day, all day long. So really a great way to kind of get your sales, marketing, and branding done very inexpensively and by some people that really know your marketplace. So take advantage of that if you have not already. I talked a little bit about Firelight. Firelight, of course, is on the IAMS website. I would direct you to the support section of our website. There's a IAM sales libraries on there. If you want to do term, quote term online, we've got some great tools to help you select products. If you want to do that without the help of the sales director or whatever, we can do all that for you. So if you haven't looked at our website lately, I would encourage you to go back on there and look. And if nothing else, go on there and get yourself registered for Firelight. That's a great way that's a great first step that you can take to get yourself ready for maybe these next 30 or 60 days where a lot of people are wanting to not meet face to face. Retirement Analyzer is a great little tool. Again, this is something you can do with the client on the phone if you want to get some information from them and then show them kind of where they're at on the retirement journey in a very graphic, comprehensive way. Give Marcus a call here at our office if you want to take advantage of that. Just to let you know, we're taking care of the expense on that for producers. That's about a $70 a month tool, but we're taking care of the expense on that. The reason we do that is we're seeing much larger case sizes from guys that are using that. We're seeing multiple lines of business. We're seeing annuity and life, and even occasionally some long-term care business, some single premium life business that comes from those. So that tool will help you develop a lot of sales and really keep you kind of front and center in front of your client on a regular basis. So if you have not used a tool like that or not used the Retirement Analyzer, that's one of the best ones, by the way, that I've seen. And we're making available to you at no cost. So give Marcus a call here at the office and he'll be glad to walk you through that, send you out a sample link, let you do it a time or two, help you through 1 or 2 of them if you like, and see if it's a good fit for your business. IAMS Wealth Management. So if you're a Series 65 or maybe thinking about getting a 65 and haven't yet, this would be a great opportunity for you to consider that again. I think that's going to be important, more important than ever going forward. A lot of people see what's happening in the market and say, why would I want to do that right now? things are going to turn around, and this is a great time to get yourself in place. We might have a little bit more time than we usually have to do the study if we need to. So if you want to get a 65 and need somebody to help you through that, IAMS Wealth Management, give those folks a call. They'll get your books ordered up for you, help you through the study process, and help you get licensed if that's what you want to do. On the other hand, if maybe you already have your 65 and maybe you're unhappy with the service that you're getting from your RIA, this would be a great opportunity because I'm getting nothing but great feedback from all of our producers on the service that they get from IAMS Wealth. They run on a similar platform to what we run at IAMS, so we're kind of a high touch, high relationship, and they do the same thing over at the IAMS Wealth side. Maybe if you're not happy with your fees. So here's one thing that I think gets a lot of guys caught off guard when they see IAMS Wealth is that we have a payout that's just a skosh above 1%, and we don't run that through a grid. So you're not going to get 60% of 1% or 70% or 80% of 1%. You're going to get the whole 1%. So our payouts tend to be higher than most directly to the producer. I think we just run on a little skinnier margin, and that helps our producers quite a bit. We've also done our best to keep the fees down, and we've tried to include the most valuable stuff in there. So in our fees are very reasonable, and we're including your E&O, we're including a website, we're including a CRM if you want to take advantage of that. A lot of tools that are very, very valuable to someone that's in that line of business, and that they're all included, and the fees are very reasonable. And finally, I would say that maybe if it's just a matter of, hey, I've had a 65, but not necessarily doing a great job with it because I just don't have the coaching and assistance that I need. They do a great job with that as well. So if you have interest in them giving you a call, and I see you've already kind of begun the process of doing that for us, by all means, just go ahead and give me a yes or no on that poll, and we'll get off and running. Appreciate your quick vote on that. I'm going to close that poll out and get moving along here. If for some reason you need to chat about that before you make a decision, just give me a call here at the office, 800-255-5055. Just ask for Steve, or if you want to, just ask for the boys over at IAMS Wealth Management. We'll be glad to put you in touch. 2-day training academies. If you haven't been to one of our life and annuity academies, and we've got one scheduled for May, which my guess is right now is going to be delayed, but it will not be canceled. We're going to postpone them and try and get in as many as we can this year. I think they're very valuable and going to become more valuable, I think, as people need to do business just a little bit differently, or at least be ready to do business just a little bit differently. So if you have interest in joining us at one of our academies, check yes on that poll. If you've been to one, or maybe that's not something that you want to take advantage of, hit no on that poll. And while you're thinking about that, let me give you a couple of insights. So we've got 4 top producers that will be there. They'll talk about the way that they do business and the way that they gain new prospects regularly every day. So our guest speaker today, Dave Pipper, for instance, will be one of those speakers. And what they'll talk about is what they do from a sales and marketing perspective every day to grow their business and make that available to you. So that's kind of the centerpiece. Then keep it up on what's going on in the industry. There's going to be a lot going on in the industry, and you're going to want to be in on as much knowledge as you can there, just to help plan your business going forward, and we're going to help you with that. So we'll talk about what's upcoming in the industry with rates, and what's happening with companies, and how they're adjusting products to the new rate environment that we're going to be living in for a little bit. And then we'll go back and talk about some of the basic things that you need to do from a sales and marketing perspective to help grow your business. So that's 90% of what we do. Do we talk a little bit of product? Sure. But again, if you're not already comfortable with sales 101, this probably isn't the right meeting for you. This is kind of a level 200 course, if you will, a little bit more advanced, a little bit more, less of the basics and more of the finesse things that you can do to grow your business. So if that's something that is of interest to you, what'll happen is we'll send you along, if you hit yes on this poll, we will send you along a registration form along with a sample agenda. And what you'll see on that agenda is it lasts 3 days. We take care of your expenses. So we'll take care of your flights. We'll take care of your mileage if you're driving. We'll take care of your hotel. We'll take care of your meals. And then you'll see on the agenda, we bring you in on a Wednesday. We do a little bit of work that Wednesday night, Wednesday afternoon, I guess I should say. Then we'll have you all day Thursday, half the day Friday, and then we'll get you out and back to the airport, or back on your way back to your part of the country. So I don't know that we'll be doing that in May. I think not, but I wouldn't be surprised if we don't get one in by the summer, and then we'll do a couple in the fall. So if you send that registration form back, what'll happen is that we will give you a call and say, hey, does this fit your schedule? If it does, we'll have you in. We'd love to help you grow your business that way. So let me close that poll out. Thank you all again for your quick voting there. I'm going to keep moving along a pace. So before you have the screen is a little note regarding trip that we've got set up, and it's a trip that we co-op with Athene, and it can only be qualified for by writing your Athene business through Insurance Agency Marketing Services. It takes $3 million of business. We've got all the way until the end of June to qualify. Many of you are already on your way, which is great. For those of you that aren't, still plenty of time to qualify. Take advantage of that. We'd love to have you join us. That's a beautiful location. If you've ever been to Cabo, you know that's a wonderful spot. And if you look at the picture there, you can see that that sits in a nice calm bay. So one of the issues at Cabo a lot of times is rough ocean that you really can't swim in. There's no issue with that right there. They're sitting in a nice bay, and we'd love to have you sit down there on the beach with your guest and enjoy a little bit of reprieve from what is bound to have been one of your more challenging years. So join us if you can, and if you will, give us a call here at the office, 800-255-5055, and let's talk about Athene and how we can help you grow that part of your business. Additionally, all of the business that you do there counts towards our trip to the Secrets at Puerto Vallarta, which is March 7th through the 11th of 2021. You've got all the way through this year to qualify for that. Any business that you do towards the Montage down in Cabo also counts towards this, and this takes 3.5 million points. So if you qualified for the Athene trip, you're almost certainly going to qualify for this one. It's kind of a double whammy for you. And for those of you that are producing at an even higher level, we have a special tag-on trip that will be right at the end of that. It will be at the Four Seasons in Punta Mita, which is right near Puerto Vallarta, just probably probably about a 40-minute drive up the coast. So we'd love to have you and your guests join us for that little tag-on trip for our top producers. So plenty of opportunity to see some world, and I know that when this comes around, you're going to be ready to do just that. So here we go. We're going to talk with Mr. Pimper now. Dave is going to talk about Social Security maximization. As I mentioned at the outset, we're obviously one of the great ways that you get to meet people is by meeting them in groups. And right now, meeting in groups is a little tough. So Dave, beyond talking about Social Security maximization and some of the opportunities that we have done in the past regarding helping you get in front of clients on a workshop basis, he's probably going to tell you a little bit about what we're getting ready to do from a digital workshop basis, which I'm really excited about. So without further ado, let me turn it over to the coach, Dave Pimper.
Well, good morning to everybody. Appreciate being on the webinar today. This is going to take about 30 minutes. So just to let you know, so you can go in and time yourself on this. And we're going to go through a lot of great information talking about Social Security, a little bit about the Secure Act, about seminar marketing, of how it can go in and benefit your practice, okay? So my name is Dave Pimper, and I've been in the business since 1981 is when I started, so 35 plus years. I've coached for over 30 years of those within the financial service arena. I do coach for and run my business through IAMS, but I coach for IAMS also, and I have been with them for 15 years, and I've coached for them for about 14 and a half of those years. Social Security is a very interesting subject. It's a subject that most advisors, in fact, only about 12% of all financial advisors, and it doesn't make a difference if it's Morgan Stanley or Edward Jones or Northwestern Mutual or your independent or your regional, doesn't make a difference. I mean, CPAs, lawyers, most folks don't have really a clue of the true ins and outs of Social Security. When it comes to the John Q. public, it's less than 2% really understand Social Security. So it's a very complicated and kind of mysterious program that has been highly successful. I think there's a lot of tough news that's out there right now, making it sound like it's going bankrupt and you're going to lose your money and you're not going to get your checks and all kinds of stuff. I mean, sometimes it's negative on the Democrats, negative on the Republicans. But I'll tell you what, started in 1935 and hasn't missed a payment yet. I've presented over 500 public seminars. In fact, I just did a Social Security seminar 2 weeks ago, and it was down. It was down in numbers. I mean, I had only about half the amount of people that I normally have, but I still did get 10 appointments. If I get 10 appointments, I'm most likely going to write business I just had 2 really good appointments from that workshop yesterday, and both of them I found money, and both of them are open to let me present to them, and told me, which is part of my commitment language, that they would do business with me if they were comfortable and felt inclined. So I try to make a complicated subject easier, and I'll tell you right now, Social Security is a complicated subject. 2,700 rules. Uh, um, there's a lot of coaches out there. There aren't as many coaches that are currently in full production, which I am. I have a process way of coaching. It isn't perfect for everybody, but I'll tell you right now, it has been worked very well for me and many of the people that I coach. I have a lot of attachments to you. It's a turnkey system, and Lynn Feldhauser is one of my 3 administrators. She is there to help you set it up, etc. So what IAMS has right now, and this could go in and be varied some because we're not doing public workshops as of. I was supposed to have one next week on Tuesday and on Thursday, and I'm not, but I am having one online. But the original guarantee is 25 guaranteed buying units in attendance. And if you don't get 25, we pay you back or we credit your next workshop, whatever you want. If you want a check, fine. If you want a credit, fine. But with that, what happens is that you get one-on-one coaching with me. That's 3 one-on-one coaching with Social Security. And there's a double good thing here. I mean, two-edged sword. That's both edges are good. That you get in front of more people, but you learn Social Security if you don't already learn Social Security, know Social Security. But also you get the PowerPoint, which I put together. You also get it's really state of the art Social Security benefit software. It's included for 3 months. You can buy it after that if you want to lease it. And then we talk about the follow up from the workshop, and then going into the appointments. And so it really, for $2,500, I mean, there's actually 3 major mail houses out there that do a lot of online Facebook marketing. That $2,500 is it's more than half of less money than what the 2 or 3 major competitors are out there doing this type of seminar marketing. So we're very competitive. So I'm going to go through. It's give or take, but it's going to be about maybe 50% of the slides that I have. This is a fast moving. We don't cover a lot of information on every slide. It's a very fast moving presentation. Those are some of the actual slides. But I say here, the next best thing with being wise oneself is living of a circle of those who are. It was by C.S. Lewis, who's a Christian scholar. I'll tell you, he um, talk about the circle of those who are. When I do Social Security workshops, I am the circle that are. When you're learning from me, I'm coaching you on up. And this is what I say to my people in the seminar itself. I talk a little bit about where my offices are, etc. If you have an outside office. We talk about the new Secure Act. We actually have 4 slides. We're just going to show one today, but we do talk about the 29 new provisions. We talk about the IRAs going from required minimum distributions, talking about going from age 70 and a half of the forced distribution to age 72. So that's in the favor. We also talk about inherited IRAs, which they're not such a thing now. Now there's a 10-year rule on an IRA. You don't have to take RMDs out yearly, but everything has to be out without 10 years for inherited. It doesn't affect the wife or the husband, so a spousal benefit. And then talking about income annuities within 401ks, that wasn't really available for, but now it certainly is, to replace some of the pension lost money. I talk here about questions and concerns. I mean, is Social Security really going broke? When's the right time to apply? What will my benefit be? Which we can tell you from the free report that we get, 11-page free report. Did the Bipartisan Budget Act really make a difference on my Social Security? Because it could have. Then we talk about a stroll down memory lane. So we talk about the Social Security was started by Franklin Delano Roosevelt in 1935, first check to Ida May Fuller in 1940. 65 was the only age you could take Social Security, the only age, actually, up to you know, there wasn't early or late. So that was full retirement age, the earliest age and the latest age you could take. The amazing thing was the average person back there died at the age of 62. What a deal. Government pays you at 65, you're dead and buried at 62. COLAs, cost of living allowances, automatically were incorporated and passed by Congress in 1975. There's only been 3 years. There hasn't been a COLA increase 2010, 11, and 16. Is Social Security tax? Well, it depends. It depends on if there's enough money to get you above a bracket. Those brackets have not changed since 1983. That was the first taxation. Ronald Reagan, typical Neil across. They shook hands like stuff for us to do bipartisanship now. But up to 50% of your benefit if there's above the provisional income brackets, which we'll go through, and 85% by Bill Clinton if you make above that bracket. So is Social Security tax? It depends on where your income is. But is it important for retirees? You darn right it is. Almost 60% of retirees, they do count on their Social Security benefit as the major source of income. I love this kind of the drawing on that, going down that deep dark drain. This came out by Janet Herron in USA Today on July 1. Doing this one thing with your Social Security could mean losing $100,000 in retirement. $100,000. Bullet point number 1, how much does claiming Social Security at the wrong time cost you? Number 2, retirees will lose an average of $111,000 in income per household over their lifetime. Why? Because they took Social Security benefits at the wrong time. Bullet point number 3, only 4% of retirees took Social Security at the financially optimal age. 4%. And then I'll say, folks, that's why you're here tonight. You want to be part of that 4%. Find out what is the best age for you and or your spouse to take Social Security. Social Security 101, or Social Security Made Easy, is just this. There's 3 dates or times that dates or ages that are important to Social Security. One is full retirement age. So if you're born from 1943 to 1954, your full retirement age is 66. Then it goes up 2 months per year. Like I'm born in April of 1955, 1 year after 54. Mine's 66 years and 2 months. If you're born in 56, it's 4 months. So it goes 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. And then if you're born 1960 or later, it's 67. Age 67. So if you take earlier than full retirement age, you get your benefit now, which is a plus, but it's lower the rest of your life. If you wait longer than full retirement age and delay it, you get more. So you don't get it now. That's the negative. But when you turn it on, it's going to be more for the rest of your life. That's really Social Security in a nutshell of how it works. If there's any questions, type them on. And I always say Social Security can have a huge value, but it has to be at claiming at your right time. Not the right time, but at your right time. Okay? Makes a big, big difference. Is it a big benefit? You darn right it is. It's $1 million benefit for some people through a lifetime. If you have a $2,000 benefit, which is a pretty fair benefit, maybe not as much if you live in LA or New York or Chicago, but in Nebraska, that's a pretty good, meaning pretty good salary, pretty good income, worked your whole life, $2,000. COLA, cost of living allowance, or actually inflation, 2.8%. In 10 years, you would have received over $300,000. $300,000 in 10 years. In 20 years, you would have received 2/3 of $1 million. And in 30 years, $1.1 million you would have received. I'm telling you what, that's real money. That's if you maximize. If you don't maximize, it won't be as high as that. Now I got 5 myths, although I'm not going to go through all 5 myths today on this shortened version of the seminar. But Social Security myth number 1, Social Security is going broke. You know, when I was young, I heard my dad say, hey, you better put money in savings in retirement. You know why? Because Social Security is never going to be around when you retire, but here it is. I mean, 45 years later, it's still here. Hasn't missed a payment. So my question is, do you think last year that Social Security Administration, actually the last year recorded is 217, but do you think they are 218? It's 218. Do you think that they ran a deficit or a surplus? Deficit or a surplus? Meaning they brought more money in or they paid more money out in benefits. Most people think they paid more money out in benefits, but interestingly enough, that's not the case. Out of about $1 trillion of revenue, okay, 3 billion, only 3 billion, but they were in the green, they were in the black with $3 billion. Now, 2019 or 20, yeah, we're going to start running a deficit for sure. And then as more and more and more baby boomers start retiring, there's going to be a bigger stress point on the Social Security Trust Fund. So what if you got that $2,000 coming in, the Social Security Trust Fund of that 2.89 trillion? Let's say it runs out of money. It's bankrupt, done dealing. Would you receive any money from your $2,000? And most people say no. But you know why you do? You receive between 75 and 80% of it. They claim that Social Security will run out of money in the year 2034 or 35. Okay, so 13, 14, 15 years down the road. But it's a pay-as-you-go system. Payroll taxes take into account 6.2% for yourself and 6.2% for your employer. Yeah, that's exactly right. So what happens here is that even without the trust fund, about anywhere from 75 to 80% of your income would still be available from the payroll taxes. Now, are there ways to firm Social Security up? Yes, there is. There is. There's a bunch of things out there. I mean, that means testing. All that means, no pun intended, what it means is that people who make money, quite a bit of money or good money in retirement, they would give up part of their Social Security to someone who doesn't do as well. It's a redistribution of wealth. That's gaining steam in the House right now. I'm not personally in favor of it, but there could be a compromise on something like that. And they say, why does a Warren Buffett or a Bill Gates really need Social Security? Okay, well, they put into it their whole life. You know, if you look at the full retirement age, it was 67. I mean, excuse me, it was 65 way back when in the mid 30s and 40s. And now full retirement age is this 67 is the latest full retirement age can be if you're born 1960 or later. That's only 2 years. You know, life expectancy has gone way up. The average person now, I mean, it's in the late 80s or early, you know, late 70s or early 80s for longevity. So I would just raise the full retirement age. Raise it from 67 to 70. Raise the date you have to start taking from 70 to 73. If you ask my son right now, and I say this in the workshop because I like to have fun, a little humor. I say, yes, my 28-year-old son this weekend, hey, Sam, they're going to raise your full retirement age. They're going to raise it from 67 to 70. You know what he'll tell me? Hey, Dad, who cares? Give me another beer. He could care less. And when I'm giving the actual workshop, just because I've got 5 or 6 or 7 bullet points down there, I normally pick on 1 or 2 and I kind of delve into those. Remember, I got 54 slides. I need to do about a slide a minute. The very first, it's how you open and how you close. When I coaching people, because part of this is coaching Social Security and about the seminar itself, what happens is that I cannot impress upon you enough that what you say in that first 2 slides and what you say in the last 3 slides, that's about 60% of whether you'll get the appointment or not. And we go through all of that in coaching and the follow-up attachments that you get to. So here's some facts. Social Security is a pay-as-you-go system. Yeah, 6.2% by the employee and then another 6.2 by the employer, 12.4%. Does the USA borrow against the bonds within that portfolio? They do. And this is where a lot of people say it's a Ponzi scheme. It's not. But again, this is also why people say that the Social Security is bankrupt, upside down. So if the the trust fund used to be a specific trust, actual trust agreement that you could not go in and borrow or take money from that. But what has happened is that they have borrowed for years and years. So I relay it to the dollar. I say, what backs the American dollar? Does gold back it? No, that went out in the early 70s. Does silver back it? No, that went out in the late 30s, early 40s. It's the full faith and credit of the U.S. government, the same thing that backs Social Security, your check. So I always say, hey, when I go to Quick Shop and fill my car up for 30, now it's less money, 30 bucks. You know what happens is, and I go in and want to pay cash for it. They say, I'm sorry, Mr. Pimper, but cash is no longer good here. Then I will have some concern about Social Security, because that's the same government that backs the Social Security as that backs your money. So figuring out your benefit, yeah, how many years you've worked, meaning you have to work at least 10 years, at least 40 quarterly credits to get a benefit. If not, you're not going to get one. And then they take your 35 highest inflation adjusted years, and then what age you take it. If you take it early, it's reduced. If you wait later, it's increased. That's the basics of Social Security. Remember I said, if you're born from 43 to 54, your full retirement age is 66. It steps up 2 months every year, and it's 1960 or later, it's 67. What I like greatest about this slide, though, is the dog. Don't you love that picture of that dog? You see what he's wearing there? I call it a bone tie. That's a bad joke. Yep. And I do that in the webinar, in the actual seminar itself, which gets some groans, just like probably I heard here. Yeah, if you take early, it gets reduced. If you wait later, it's guaranteed to grow 8% a year, plus cost of living. What is cost of living this year? Any guesses out there? 1.6%. What was the last year? If you guess 2.8%, you're correct. If you look at 3 years ago, 2%. Last 10 years, about 2%. Since 1975, over 3.5%. 1981, it was over 14% cost of living raise. Amazing. Yep. Most people take earlier than wait, but it may be a big advantage to wait. And we have software to show that. So let's go through spousal benefits. I'm going to go through these pretty quick so we stay on time today. But let's say days, my primary insurance amount, that means your insurance amount, your benefit amount at full retirement age. Say I'm 66, Amy's 66. My PIA is, for my benefits, 2,400, Amy's is 1,000, we both take. The higher one always gets the higher one. The lower one has the option. Like she can take, say it's my wife, Amy, Amy could take all of her benefit, which is 1,000, or she could go in and take half of mine, which is 1,200, which is higher. No doubt. 1,200 is higher than 1,000. That 200 bucks is a top up on the benefit. What happens if Dave wants to wait to take his benefit and Amy takes hers at 66? He's going to take his 70. You can't get a spousal benefit unless that spouse is taking their individual benefit. So in that case, Amy's only going to get 1,000. She can't jump up to 1,200. Then Dave turns 70. Of course, he turns his on at 70 because he can't make any more money after that. He turns it on now, Dave. Amy can go and take the $200 top up of Dave's. Okay, see how that works? That's spousal benefit. This is done automatically. Divorce spouse benefits, tons of divorce spouse benefits are not used. Here's the triple play. You're married for 10 years or more. You're currently unmarried. Your spouse is at least 62 years of age or older. That's the triple play for a divorced spouse benefits. If that lines up, now you can take your ex, even if you hate him, which comes up from time to time. They don't have to know anything about it. Doesn't affect them in any way. You can go in and use them as if you're still married to them. Why is that important? Because there's many more benefits for married couples than there are for single couples. How about in divorce benefits and survivor? They both have to be requested. Does not happen automatically like spousal. They have to be requested. So here again, the story problem. Dave and Amy are both married. Both are over full retirement age. Dave's benefits 2,000. Amy's benefits 1,200. Dave dies first. I say this, and I get a kick out of some people laugh at this, but I'll say, who normally dies first in a marriage, the guy or the gal? And almost everybody says the guy. I said, you're exactly right. I said, you know why that is? Because he elects to. I like my own jokes. I'm like Red Skelton. He already laughed at his own jokes. Yeah, Dave dies. His $2,000 benefit. Now Amy's is $1,200. She can jump up to his benefit if she elects to. I had a gal that came in, one of my very first workshops in Fremont, my hometown, outside of Omaha, about 30 miles. She came in, she goes, Mr. Pimper, you said something during the workshop that really concerned me. I said, well, what is that? She said, well, you told me and everybody else in the room that night at the seminar that if your spouse dies and that benefit is higher than yours, that you can drop yours and jump up to that. I could jump up to my husband's if he died. I said, that's exactly right. She said, well, I was told you couldn't. And I said, well, who told you that? She said, my brother. True story. How'd you like to? Here's what happened was her benefit was $1,300 approximately. His was $1,800, $500 difference. She could have jumped up and got $500 extra dollars. And over a year, that's $6,000. She had been widowed or widower for 5 years, 30 grand. And how'd you like to go to that Thanksgiving dinner? First one. Yeah. So survivor benefit, and it has to be asked for. If you don't ask, you don't receive. It's biblical. Coordinating spousal benefits. I won't talk about restricted application. It gets complicated. But if you're born before January 2nd of 1954, then it could apply to your client. If you're born after, then the main person taking the beneficiary, the benefit, then it will not make a difference. But this is hard to understand. I teach it to you in an easy to understand format if we're coaching together for the seminars. Let's say Dave and Amy are both 66. They're both full retirement age. PIA for Dave's 24, Amy's is 1,000. Amy files for her benefit at 66, so she gets 1,000. Dave restricts his application. He was born before January the 2nd of 1954. So Dave goes in and he is going to delay his benefit and earn that 8% in cost of living. Well, what happens, because of his age, he can do something called restricted. So he actually starts his benefit, and in the eyes of Social Security, he keeps it started. Well, now he's available, but in reality, he stopped it and letting it grow. That's what restricted does. It kind of fakes out the Social Security Administration. Legal to do that. Most people, only less than 1% of the people this would help actually go in and use the benefit. Is that wild? Only 1%. You're not going to hear this from Social Security Administration, because then what Dave can do is let his grow that 8% for cost of living and take half of Amy's, which is a spousal benefit. Half of 1,000 is 500 times 12 is 6,000 times 4 years is 24,000. That's absolutely free money for the recipient. And then Dave turns 70, turns on his benefit. Of course, he can't take a spousal benefit any longer. But now all of a sudden, Amy can take a spousal benefit the other way. She can take $1,200, half of Dave's or all of hers. She gets a $200 top up. The delayed retirement credits, the COLA, you can't take half of that, but you can of the original benefit. Pretty cool. Free money. Not everybody can do it, but if you have those age and life circumstances, you can. Social Security myth number 2, if I claim Social Security benefits early and invest the income, I'll come out ahead. I'm going to tell you, you're guaranteed from 62 to 70, somewhere between 5% and 8%. Guaranteed, not counting COLA. Guaranteed. Where do you get that from an investment account? Can you say coronavirus? Can you say down 33%? 33% from the high this year, which is a month ago. Yeah, that's how quickly bad markets strike. Well, bad things don't happen to Social Security, no matter how bad the news gets. Is there reasons to claim early? You darn right there is. What's the best reason to claim early? You're broke. You need the cash. You need the money. How about if you're just not going to live very long? You got really bad, you You got diabetes and you just had a heart attack and a stroke. You know what? You need to take as early as you can because you're not going to live very long. How about if your health is good, but the rest of your family's is bad? I always joke with this. Say you're in really, really good health, and the three only brothers you have all died of lung cancer, and you happen to be a smoker. Yeah, you better take. And the break even, you always got to kind of look at what the spouse is on that, and because she can go up to the survivor benefit. But being uninformed, that's the worst reason not to claim or to claim early. Actually, I brokered in or being ignorant. I thought that was a little strong, so I knocked it down to saying being informed. There is an annual earnings test. So, and I'm going through those faster even than what I do in a workshop. And I go through much slower, and we role play if you're going coaching one-on-one. But what happens is if you're under full retirement age and you make $18,240, if you make any more than that, you're going to give $1 for every two you make back to Social Security. If you make over about 47, 48,000, you may give all of it back. That varies a little bit. But the 18,240 is the threshold. That goes up with cost of living. But and then it's interesting, they do give it back to you, but they take it out quickly, in 4 or 5 years. They give it back to you over your lifetime. So that might be 20, 25, even 30 years. They give it back to you slowly. So what happens is that if you wait to full retirement age, it doesn't make any difference. You can make as much as you want at full retirement age. But be careful to be taking your Social Security when you're still working because you may give it back at the time. Social Security myth number 3, you're going to get the biggest family benefit by waiting to claim age 70. I mean, in my own personal family, my wife and myself, we're the same age. Don't tell my wife I said that. But she looks so much younger than I do. Yeah. What happens is that she took hers at 62. And I'm waiting to take mine longer. I'm going to delay mine. That's how we're maximizing us. I always say Social Security is the worst water cooler talk there is. Hey, I took it 62 and you should too. Hey, I took it 70 and you should too. That's like saying, hey, I love the color violet and you should too. Does the benefit make a big difference if you take early or wait later? You darn right. It basically at 3% cost of living, it basically doubles your money in 8 years, guaranteed by the U.S. government. Income for life, divorce benefit, spousal benefit, survivor benefit. I'm telling you what an I think it was. Don't want to be personal, but I was listening to Glenn Beck, and they were absolutely just slamming Social Security. What a terrible program it is. Well, I'll tell you what, take it away and see how many people are going to be on poverty row. That's why they started it back in 1935 in the Great Depression, where over 50% of the people, were destitute. There are such a things as do-overs. If you start it and pay all your money back within 1 year, yep, you can do it one time, just like it never happened. How about that gal that forgot about her husband's benefit because she listened to her brother? Now she can go, and long as she's full retirement age or over, she can just go back. I call it the oops rule. Just go back 6 months. So she actually got paid $3,000, $500 for 6 months, 3,000. She didn't lose 30,000. I fibbed to you. She really lost 27,000, which is still just horrific. And if you start your benefit and you start it, and then say in 3 years you go on in, and you say go in, yeah, what happens is you cannot stop your benefit until you become full retirement age. If you do it then you can, but you can't do it before. Is there taxation on Social Security? It depends. Depends if you're married filing jointly under 32,000 for provisional income. Provisional income is a adjusted gross income. It's really modified adjusted gross income plus 1/2 of Social Security benefit and all of your muni bond interest. If that's under 32,000, you pay 0 taxation on Social Security. If it's from 32 to 44, you pay 50% of your Social Security is taxed. If it's over 44,000, 85 is. There's always 15% that's not taxed, and you can see the single brackets there. So it depends. If you don't make much money, it won't be taxed. If you make a lot of money, then the majority could be taxed. Muni bonds are taxed, but Roth IRA, Roth conversions are not taxed. So Roth is pure tax-free money when it comes to provisional income for Social Security. But how about if you do deferred investments? All of that deferral, none of it's taxed. It's pretty sweet, isn't it? Absolutely. So there are ways to go in and reduce if you're near one of those brackets. Roth conversions, I just don't think we're going to have much lower interest rates than right now, mainly because of what the standard deduction is. I mean, if two people are 65 or over and say they're married, you get $27,000 where you don't pay taxes on the first 27. That sunsets out in the year at the end of the year 2025. I just think it could be a really good time to Roth convert. Okay. Social Security myth number 5. Social Security Administration will give you the best advice on how to maximize your benefit. That is completely wrong. You know why? They can't give advice. They give you best benefit right now, but can't give you advice. This comes right from their manual, their hand manual. Provide enough information so that claimants can make informed choices, but do not give advice. Who gives advice? We do. We give advice. Social Security is not a standalone investment. It's flexible. It's when you take it at your right time. And that survivor benefit, a big deal. I work through a worksheet with them. This is how I go in and find money. I talk about their working wages, full and part-time pensions, income producing assets, RMDs, and Social Security. Social Security is by far the most flexible. It's how it fits into those other 4 producing assets or other 4 income streams. But income producing assets like 401ks, IRAs, cash life, real estate, CDs, money markets, those are all things that we uncover, and that's where you find the money to work with. And I show you just how to do that when we go in and we're giving on the. I really don't go a ton into the sales process, but I find that fact-finding sheet, and I certainly get that to you. So you probably got questions, where do you go from here? Yeah, there's tons of benefits out there, but claiming your benefit at the right time. And then I come to procrastination at the end. So what happens is I talk about procrastination is my gosh darn it, I may forget it. Procrastination is my friend. It brings me constant sorrow. I really shouldn't practice it. Perhaps I'll stop tomorrow. I almost forgot my slogan that I've used for 25 years. I'm an old man. You got to bear with me on this. But people, what happens is that people just, I ask sometimes how many people come to me and say, hey, you cannot believe how much money I've made from procrastinating. It does not happen. I'll say, what is Nike shoe company's, the most profitable shoe company in the world's slogan? Just do it. Then I go into the appointment setting form, date and time, and then I go into the final slide. I say, we'll pick those up. I talk about George Foreman. He's the oldest heavyweight boxer ever to win the crown at 45. Made a ton of money, but you know where he made the most money? The George Foreman Grill. It's exactly right. Made 136.5 million to use his name over 20 years ago. And I have fun with it at the end so people can laugh as they're going out and turning their appointment sheets into me. I say, you know what, unless you've got your name on a grill, you need to mark yes on that evaluation form and come in and see me. Yeah, so kind of fun. We have fun with it. It's an hour to an hour and 5-minute presentation. And what's very interesting is I've given over 500 public workshops face-to-face. The next 2 workshops I'm going to do is something new for Dave Pimper. I do lots of webinars with advisors, but I have not done that with clients. But now we're going to do it with clients. And I want to tell you right now, what's fairly amazing, we normally start advertising 2 weeks out. We want to get this out as fast as we could because of the coronavirus, and a lot of our public libraries are closed. They want people to stay indoors. Well, everyone's got a computer. Not, and we want to make it, it's like 2 clicks and you're in. It's just simple. But what happens is that we started going in on Tuesday afternoon. So that's 2.5 days ago. That's all we've advertised for this. And I've got for one night, I think there's 26 people one night and 17 or 18 people for the other night. I won't tell you, not all of those will show up, but if just half or 2/3 does, that's a beautiful thing. We have a follow-up system. So we're going to roll this out. I want to test it first. I want to make sure I bought a webcam. I have a mic. There's mics in the webcam. We'll see, and I'm going to practice all of that ahead of time. We want to do some polling, but we'll actually set the appointment. And we're going to talk about this with the powers that be, but we want a face-to-face, but in some part of the country, like Edward Jones, I mean, they're not seeing any face-to-face anymore, until this gets over. So we'll probably have an option that we're going to be able to go in and use Skype or use GoToMeeting like we're using today, or use Zoom, anything, but it'd be a face-to-face, but over the computer. So we'll see if we're probably going to open it up for that. But if you got some interest here, there's a poll that's being launched right now. And if you certainly mark no if you have no interest, we understand that. But if you have an interest of getting in front of more qualified candidates, I mean, I'm going to tell you, those 500 workshops that I've done in the last 35, 40 years, they've made me hundreds of millions of dollars, hundreds of millions over that time period. Do I do other marketing? Yeah, I have a radio show called Retirement Boss Radio that we also market to the masses for producers. I just put on another radio. I mean, I'm on the biggest, largest radio station here in town, and then I just got with another AM talk news radio with KOIL. Yeah, I mean, it's a great time to market. So you can go in and you can feel sorry for yourself and know your business is down and you can't see people, or they're not talking to you, they're breaking appointments, or you can go out there when I'm telling you right now, no one's giving workshops, but Dave Pimper is. And I got a ton of people coming in my next one. We're going to do it online. Do I know exactly how it's going to turn out? I certainly don't, but you know what? I'm swinging that bat. If you want to swing that bat to hit that ball, you need to mark yes on that. We'll talk. And am I giving up public workshops face to face? Not at all. When the coronavirus goes away, which it will. I mean, you may not feel like it right now. We're in the throes of things, but it will. But I want to continue. And I'll tell you what, people need our help more than anybody right now. I just did business with a guy. 4 weeks ago, he came in, his account was worth 115,000. He's liquidating it out in all stock account for 86,100 bucks. He just can't handle the pain anymore. Tell you what, if you show fixed index or more conservative, or you're working with that pre-retired or just retired, what a great way to get in front of people. So I'm going to hand this over to Steve Murray. We're going to go through any kind of questions that popped on up, and yeah, and so we'll take a peek right here. So I got a question that came on in. Let me see if I can answer this. It says, how do you get this across? How do you get this across to the Social Security Administration? I've had several clients born before January 2nd at 54 and told the office, how do I fight this? Well, I tell you what, I think they try as hard as they can. So that you know, Social Security office is closed right now. You can only go on telephone or online, but you can't go face to face with them right now because of the virus. So I would elevate it up to the next person, elevate it to their supervisor. That's what I would do. But I call it restricted application. They may call it that you have to be born before January 2nd of 1954, but that is the name really of restricted application. So I'll see if we have any other questions. Oh yeah, we do have a question here. A person wants to know that, what entails on that $2,500. So let me go through it again. You get the presentation. You get coaching from Dave Pimper, 3 coaching sessions. I'm not in your hierarchy. I'm not paid by you. IAMS has got me on a retainer, on a stipend. And so it doesn't come out of your pocket. You get 3 coachings from me. It's mainly Social Security and how the seminar really comes into play. And you get software for 3 months. That's free. After that, you can pay for it. It's about $26, $7 a month after that. But if you like it, you can certainly use others if you want to. There's a lot that are out there, a lot of pay for plays out there. You get a video of myself giving this presentation, okay? And people will look at that over and over. There's language on every slide that I wrote, educational language about what every slide you should say. And then you have the full use of me. I mean, I always say, use me, don't abuse me. That, and there's a guarantee of how many people will come. It's actually buying units, husband and wife being a buying unit, divorced one person being a buying unit, single person being a buying unit. But you're guaranteed to get 25 buying units. Now, could that be massaged or could that be altered some, with the online? Sure, it could be. But right now we're giving that guarantee. And remember this, coronavirus will pass. It's a drag. I know that it is. I mean, On Monday night, it was 42 degrees here. I got some new golf clubs. I was the only person on our golf course playing. I played till dark with my gloves on and everything. I told the pro I was working on my social distancing, but this will pass. Seminars have always been a positive. I tell you, this online, well, I'm really excited about that. In fact, I'm going to get Steve Murray on here just in case, and talk just a little bit about that. And then we're right at the top of the hour, so we'll kind of sum it up. If you haven't marked yes or no, do so. And I want to talk to you. You know what? I mean, this isn't for everybody. Maybe you can't speak in public. That's one great thing being behind a computer, like I'm doing this on next Tuesday and Thursday. That's going to be kind of a sweet deal because you don't have to get a venue. You're right in your own office or your own home. So pretty cool. So I'm gonna turn this over to Steve Murray, CEO of IAMS, co-owner, bigwig, all the other things. And so here's Steve.
Dave calls anybody with hair a bigwig. I'm not sure what he's thinking. So great job as always, Dave. Always enjoy listening to that great information. I mean, like Dave, I'm really excited about the opportunity to do digital workshops. We're going to have to find ways to do business with clients, not face to face. You need to be able to do e-apps. We need to be able to have some conference calls with them, and anytime that they can see you and see some information at the same time, that's really going to be really kind of at the cutting edge, hopefully not the bloody edge of technology. So we're excited about it. Hopefully, in fact, if you would like to see that, simply mark yes on that, and we're going to make sure that everybody that marks yes on this poll gets invited in to that online webinar that Dave is going to have with clients on Tuesday or Thursday. So he'll send you both links so you can see how that goes and see how it looks. And I think you're going to be amazed by how easy it is once we show you the process to do that. A lot of folks in the field are not necessarily used to working with things like Zoom meeting or even something like webinars, which we're on today. And so you're gonna be amazed by how easy that can be. So we're excited. It's great to have someone like Dave at the helm. He's got a lot of years of doing seminars and talking to folks in front of them, and so this is going to be seeing somebody that's very used to being in front of groups working behind the computer. I think it'll be beneficial for everybody. So great to have a coach, great to have a group that is working for you on a cutting edge. I would, everyone, if you could, to think about getting registered to do online applications, e-apps. Go to our website and get registered. I think I mentioned that a little bit earlier, but I think that's going to be key. You're going to be able to, that'll allow you to transact business. And again, you're going to be surprised by how easy that is and how quickly you can do business that way as well. So looks like almost everybody voted. That's awesome. We've got a couple folks out there that haven't yet. If you want to get your register your interest with us, please let us know. Again, if you'd like to chat with Dave about a specific question about Social Security, hit yes on that. We can make that happen. If you'd like to be invited to Dave's upcoming webinar so that you can see how that goes and how that would look to a client out in the field, go ahead and hit yes on that poll as well. If none of that is of interest, you hit no, and that's fine. We understand that for sure as well. With that, I think we're about ready to close up. I haven't seen any new questions come in, but if you do have questions that you want to ask, don't hesitate to give us a call on a one-on-one basis at 800-255-5055. Ask for myself, Steve Murray. Ask for any of our sales directors. Laura and Nicole work daily with Dave's team and around Social Security, so they would be great folks to talk to about this. In fact, if you hit yes on that poll, they'll call you and help set up a time to talk with Dave. So love to help you. Want you all to know that we're thinking of you and the health of you and your families, and us and our families. The team here at IAMS is paramount on everybody's feelings and concerns right now. So let us know what we can do to help you. We'd love to do that. Be safe and have a great finish to your week here today, and looking forward to a nice weekend and a great week ahead next week. So I appreciate everybody joining in. Is there anything that you want to say, Dave, or good to go?
Be safe.
Yep, be safe, have a great weekend, and maybe we'll see you at the webinar on Tuesday or Thursday. Thank you, everybody.